Hi, and welcome back to this next section where we'll talk about all the operational services from AWS. We'll start by looking at AWS OpsWorks, which lets you manage your EC2 instances using Chef cookbooks. We'll then see what ElasticBeanstalk is useful for and how you can use it to empower your developers to get your application out there as quickly as possible. We'll then walk through all the services from the code series, so code commit, code build, code deploy, and code pipeline, and see what they can do for you and how to use them all together or one by one. We'll finish with a general look on managing your day-to-day operations in AWS and how to choose the right service for the job. In this video, we will take a look at bringing your chef recipes to AWS. AWS OpsWorks allows you to manage your instances with your existing chef recipes. It's a perfect solution if you have existing chef cookbooks or would like to manage your new instances with chef. When managing your applications in OpsWorks, you create what's called stacks. I have a very simple sample stack over here. When you go into the details of your stack, you see a lot of information about everything that's been happening within your resources. Each stack in OpsWorks consists of layers. A layer is either a group of instances managed by OpsWorks, it can be an ECS cluster, or an RDS instance. At the moment, OpsWorks supports MySQL and Postgres RDS databases. Each layer is simply a part of your application, so a group of instances or databases that you want to manage in the same way. I only have a single layer here, which is a Node.js application server. You can go into your layer and see its general details, the recipes that are used, information about networks, EBS volumes, security, things like security groups and instance profiles, configure your CloudWatch logs, and add tags. In the Instances tab, you can see details about instances running within each layer. You can see every EC2 instance, its size, status, and so on. You can also do very simple management directly from the console, things like stopping your instances or running a custom SSH commands against it for Linux instances. If you go into details of your instance, you will see everything there is to know about the instance. In this case, that specific instance is running, but you can also reboot, stop, and change its settings directly from OpsWorks. If you go into your EC2 console, you will see your instance running here, as it's simply a regular EC2 instance which is managed by OpsWorks. For OpsWorks to work, the AMI that you use to launch your instance needs to have the agent for OpsWorks installed, so that the instance can be registered with OpsWorks stack and managed directly from the console. Within your stack, you can also manage your applications. An application is just a bit of code that you want to deploy onto your instances. You can have multiple applications deployed onto multiple layers. You can see the details of your application, the repository URL, and environment variables and different settings. You can also deploy your application directly from OpsWorks console. OpsWorks also provides its own console for monitoring your stacks and your instances within your stacks. It also has its own permission management. You can add IAM users and specify permissions for every user, depending on what kind of access you want the user to have. In case of Linux instances, if your user has a public SSH key associated with them, that user's account will be automatically created on related EC2 instances managed by OpsWorks whenever they have access to them. OpsWorks is backed by a chef cookbook. You can execute your recipe directly from the console. You simply choose which recipes to execute and select the instances to execute them against. You can even upgrade your operating system directly from the console by choosing that option. OpsWorks is a good choice if you have an existing chef knowledge within your company and would like to take advantage of that to manage your instances and applications within AWS.